Alrighty, I have been looking for a set of these for quite a while now. I've missed out on a couple sets, but these of course are S10 or S15 seats. These ones are probably out of an S15 Gypsy. They seem to mostly have the red and black seats. So these are in pretty good shape overall. I'll get them, well, I won't get them, I will clean them. And I'm sure that will pretty much do it. Overall, they're in really good shape. There's no rips, no tears, no soft spots, no worn through spots. You know, the upholstery, there's no holes, nothing around the sides. All the side plastic panels are intact and in good shape. Even the seat tracks are there and they're in good shape too. So overall, very good. So I'm quite happy with those. And of course the red and black matches the truck, or at least it will match the truck. Alrighty, welcome back. I know it's been a while. Yeah, that's what happens. Life, right? So, since I left you, I've done a bit to the truck. So in terms of the interior here, I have got all the sound deadening done now. I ended up running out and had to buy some more. So I found some Kills mat, which was the same 2mm thickness. So I did that. I've taken and polished out all of the back of the cab here, which I then realized while digging out interior parts that I had zero reason to do, because I have all the up trim stuff, right? Like the same stuff you would have had in a Tahoe package truck or something like that. The sport packages had the same, I don't want to call it luxury trim, but they had the upscale trim. And because of that, there's a piece of trim that goes across here. There's one that goes up there on both sides. And then across the back, there's a piece. And then in addition to that, the headliner goes all the way to the back of the window of the truck. So kind of feel like a schmuck right now, but that's life. Did the headliner of the truck too, or roof, I guess, really. So it should be a nice quiet little truck going down the road. And I was going to put the gas pedal on, and then I realized that from the factory it actually bolts through the carpet, I think. I'm pretty sure it does. I got to double check. If not, I'll bolt it on there anyway. Anyway, moving outside here, I peeled off all the tape that was up top here. And I've been slowly cleaning the front wire harness in an effort to get rid of any corrosion and fix any damaged wiring. So when I say damaged wiring, I mean like right here for these port lights. As you can see, somebody's cut a wire here, and I don't know why, but I'm going to find out. And then as we come down here, there's this mess here that I'd like to fix properly. But I want to find out what's going on with these wires, so I'm going to check our wire diagram. And then there's stuff like this where they've peeled the loom off and not put it back on. Oh, it's too short now anyway. It needs to be fixed, like this one, right? But I want to go through here. We're going to put all new bulbs in all this stuff when we get to them. But for now, what I want to do is clean up the grounds and put them on the rad support. And I want to clean up the plugs for the headlights for now. And we're just gonna, we're gonna put them on the headlights for now, I guess. That way they're out of the way. And then once we start getting some of this other stuff done, I'll be able to go through and actually wire them up with relays. By wiring them up off a set of relays, it'll take the load off of the headlight switch. And that'll keep them at a consistent brightness, and it'll also make them a little bit brighter too. Plus it'll save that poor headlight switch. right? Because we are running aftermarket headlights, and there's a good chance that, depending on manufacturer and whatever, you can actually burn up the headlight switches. So we're gonna try not to do that. Okay, so our harness gets fed through this opening in the end of the rad sport here, right? Comes across, and then it goes into our 3 wire holders that we put on earlier. And then it gets fed through here, so that on this side, all these grounds, so these ones come here to the firewall. Well, not the firewall, sorry, the rad sport. And I gotta remember where this one went to, unless I marked it. Ground to right front of frame. Well, see, here you go. So there's the answer to that question. And this one was piggybacked onto the rad sport. So that's that. But I gotta clean all these up. So I'm gonna get a little wire brush and we're gonna clean all this up. And then we'll find a screw that fits it and we'll put them on the rad sport. Okay, so with the harness kind of hung in place, and I've gone back and rewrapped a few parts of it with some static tape. So you can buy it from places like Year One and just on the internet. Pretty much all the restoration places have it. It's pretty much the same stuff they use to wrap the harnesses from the factory. So I got my grounds back on, and I got the headlight plugged in on both sides for now. I'm not sure if someone's replaced one of the headlight plugs on one side or if they were always different, but they are different now. Just like I have 2 different sockets for the turn signal, so that's kind of interesting. So more fun and games to figure out. Okay, one of the other things I wanted to do while I was here, so we have steering box here, and I have the intermediate shaft ready to go on here. So I want to show you how that works. So you see there's a flat on the top, and that flat is because it's a master spline. So the good news about that is it can only go on one way. It's okay on the camera, but it doesn't always translate. So, as I mentioned, there's also a corresponding flat section here inside our intermediate shaft. Now, this is the original intermediate shaft. I just cleaned it up, and I put just a little bit of grease in the splines to help us out. So we're going to take and install it. Because I'd like to put the steering column back in the truck this week, because I'm tired of moving the truck around without a steering column in it, basically. Alright, so we're going to pull that back out of our way. Ugh. And I apologize, I'm trying not to bump the camera, but it's kind of hard to work around the camera. Okay, so now with that there, what we can do is hopefully just kind of work this guy through, and you can go ahead and tighten that bolt up there now. With it tight, we'll be able to slide our little cover back down on too. Okay. So I installed the bracket that I made. So that drops our clutch master reservoir down where we need it to be. And next thing we can do is install our steering column. Okay, so installing our steering column. What I've got here is new bolts. I've chased the threads already, so they're nice and clean. I've made a gasket to go at the bottom here. So it's cardboard on one side and foam on the other, right? I've got some sealer, and we'll start getting our column in here. Okay, so with the column in, come in here, and I've tightened all those up, and I just took a glove and just kind of went around it and made sure that everything was just kind of clean, so it didn't look as bad. But also made sure it was sealed, because obviously we don't want water intrusion in the cab of the truck. And on the outside, I've done the same thing here. Just kind of gone around it and make sure it's sealed up. So the last thing that we have to do here is, as you can see here, we need to take and basically slide the coupler over here. I apologize, I'm trying to get the camera in here, but there's so much crap in the way. So I'll have to slide that over and put the bolt through it. Okay, so that's our column in. Now I want to show you one thing, because I ended up having to go back and fix my own mistake. And I don't want you to make the same mistake by listening to me. See the notch? It's on the top of there. The notch matches up with the flat part of the column. And there's a reason for that. I'll show you what the reason is here. When you go to put your steering wheel on, which this one's just sitting here, you'll see the wire here for our horn has to line up with that hole. Now if you do it the other way, it'll be exactly 180 degrees out. So make sure that that notch is facing up. All right, I want to show you this. Goes back to what I've been harping on since I started this project. But anything you need to know, having the factory service manual is excellent, because it shows us exactly how our assembly goes, right? Even if we had this one is for a like an LLV, right? Because that's for a chassis cab style, and then this one is for a right-hand drive. So we have all this information here readily available. So that's why it's a good investment to buy a factory service manual for your vehicle if you're going to go to the depths that I have with this truck. So there you have it. We have a 91 steering wheel on an 87 column in an 82 cab with an 82 ignition cylinder. Now, I'm not actually going to use this particular steering wheel. I have another one that's exactly the same, but is not peeling and ugly. I'm just going to use this one for now for moving the truck around and stuff, because it certainly makes my life a lot easier. Probably going to actually install the gas pedal now, just because, again, that'll make things a little bit easier. I can put the throttle cable on and do a bunch of other stuff. But we're humming along here now. Didn't show it, but up top here on top of the cab, I have a brand new radiator for the truck. I have the original rad shroud, which I'm going to clean up. I actually want to see if I can get all these decals reproduced. Also have a brand new rad cap. And by doing so, it means I can hook up all my rad hoses and stuff on the front of the engine here. And that gets us one step closer to having a complete rad support assembly. In addition to that, my focus this week is going to be on essentially assembling the firewall. By which I mean I want to get the wire harness out so I can plug the bulkhead back in here. I would like to get the HVAC control harness, so that pops in there. I want to put the wiper linkage in here and wiper motor, so I'll have to test it. And I'm going to put the heater box back together and assemble it. By doing so, I'll actually be able to put the heater hoses on, and I'll be able to fill the engine with coolant as well. And it also, of course, will get us one step closer to having a running truck.